Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really quite excited about this. I've actually managed to be able to get some internet time to be able to cast this game for you. I might be a little bit rusty because I haven't casted in quite a while, and I apologise again for not casting in quite a while because, well, my internet's been terrible. Right, so we've just had a new patch. We've just got a new moon. Basically, new feature of the moon. Craters no longer form choke points. You can go inside each of these craters. If I just zoom in on one of them, I'm using HDR and high-level graphics at the moment. So you can go inside all of these, you can build things inside them, and have a little bit of defense there, and see what's going on and whatnot. So basically, moons are basically no obstacle places. Occasionally, you might find a little bit of metal planet sat on the moon at one point. Like here we can see it's in shadow unfortunately at the moment, but we'll see it probably get into vision later on in the game. Right now, to the actual game, we have Mot9001 playing against Burntcustard. Burntcustard in orange and Mot in yellow. I don't know why I said 9001, I just read it and didn't stop reading because everyone loves reading. Anyway, right, it's a one-planet system. It is this large moon. And as I say, it's a one-on-one, and both players are spawned on opposite ends of the planet at the moment. And Mot has got up a bot factory and is producing fabbers right now. He's got 2, so he's going to be going for quite a bit of expansion with all that mechs around there. He's got quite a bit of walking to do, but he can get most of it, or at least he can try to, because Custard will likely be just expanding up and around his pole up here. He's going for a lot more scampers to begin with, actually. He's not actually building any fabricators. He's doing all the legwork with his commander. He's going to build up another factory now, probably get some more fabbers out of there, potentially some scampers. I'm going to call them scampers because, yeah, I'm used to it. And, well, basically, if you prefer the term docks, then just think docks whenever I say scamper. So there you are. So he's getting up his second factory already. He's a little bit slower on the mechs expansion. He has got 4 points, though, compared to Mot, who is just about got 5. He's just almost about to finish that. He's just getting up his second factory now. So right, let's zoom out again just a little bit more and see what's likely to happen, because it's slightly harder to predict where action is going to be now that planets, well, moons, shall we say, don't have craters that count as obstacles, really. So, analysing this, we've got sort of lines of mechs going between the players. Not a lot over here, so I doubt we'll see very much being built up over here. We might see streams of units going along this line, but then again we could say the same about most parts of the planet, but we'll probably see about 2 or 3 different avenues. And this clump of mechs over here that Custard has just discovered will probably see a base go up around it, because it's nice and compact enough to be able to build a secondary base and defend with it. Now we can see Custard going around with a lot of scampers, getting a lot of vision intel on the map, scouting all of the mechs, knowing pretty much where Mot is not, and is closing down the places where Mot could be. And here you can see that little bit of metal planet in a little bit more detail, which is nice. And I am using HDR. I haven't put anti-aliasing on for obvious reasons, and I've just unticked those boxes for some reason. I don't know why those automatically went off. I think it's because Custard finally disconnected. Because this is a postcast, this isn't live. As you can see, the chronocam at the bottom of the screen. I do apologise for that. I didn't know it was going to do it. Anyway, right now we're about to see a scamper get the vision intel on Mot's expansion factory there, doing a little bit of damage, not really enough. Basically showing his face and knocking on the door a little bit harder than perhaps is polite. Now going to come down and begin to harass this mechs. If he can take out at least 2 of that mechs, but he's not going to. But if he did, that would be quite a good advantage he would get on the econ. But he's lost attention on it and subsequently loses that scamper as 2 come in to defend. Looking around though, we've got vision over here. This one is about to take out a fabricator, so stopping that expansion there. Pretty significant there as well. Another one coming in here, about to get vision on the main nucleus, shall we say, of Mot's base. Mot got a couple of expansions all sort of around the place at the moment. So we'll see this scamper now take out. Well, I say take out, he's not really about to manage it, is he? He's going to run around and just get a bit of vision before doing anything substantial. Notice in the latest patch the tracking has been removed, so bots can, run around without fear of getting shot. Burntcustard again, just sort of harassing all over the place with all of these scampers. He's got two coming in, he might just about take out that mech. No, the priority says nope. You defend against things that are likely to attack you first. So unfortunately that mech does not go down. It does not impede on Mot's econ. Looking back up here, Burntcustard has an air factory. He's getting hummingbirds out to defend the air, get control of the skies, just in case Mot is going for an air factory, which I do believe he was not at last glance. In fact, he was. How did I miss that? He's got bumblebees, so that's very good countering and intuition there from Burntcustard, considering he scouted it with his... pole lock. As the docks came round here, he got the vision on the bumblebees and therefore decided to make the decision that hummingbees are a good investment. Now this is what I meant about seeing streams going along, probably along this line as I said here because of all the mechs. He's just, Mot's just lost a mechs from Custard, so that's pretty good. He's always doing this harassment, always damaging the eco. This whole expansion here was taken out because the fabricator was destroyed, which is always good, because as soon as you get a handle on your opponent's expansions, you get a handle on your opponent and can keep him under your control while you expand, because at the moment I do not think Mot has actually scouted Burntcustard. No, he has not. Look at this. He has not actually seen where Burntcustard is spawned yet. This is an example of not particularly brilliant scouting. I mean, he could be using those bumblebees to greater effect than he is at the moment. I think he... Where's that other one he built? Managed to lose them. Two there. So they were defending against the scampers. It's pretty good, but now they just need to actually find out where... Burntcustard is spawned. They're going to waltz up here. Probably just about find it. Nope, they're going to turn off, because they consistently see scampers moving across the map pretty much everywhere. Wherever you go, there's a little orange trapezium, I believe, just sort of rolling around, just making a presence on this moon. But if Burntcustard actually decides, let's set a rally point before we get to the base, and he can actually probably clump up quite a few of these into a significant enough clump to make a significant dent in these expansions. I mean, here he could probably take out these two fabricators, skirt around those scampers there because of the tracking, and take out the mechs, the fabricators and the factory without suffering too much damage there. Mot's commander, however, is in the open. He's about to face off against a scamper here with this beautiful yellow alpha commander eating a couple too many bananas and saying, "Oi, sir, this is my mech site, go away." He's going to build up on that one as well and get some anti-air turrets. That's always a good idea, just in case. And they're also good at defending against scampers themselves anyway. Now here we see a counterattack from Mot. Now this is what I meant about a slightly more sophisticated attack, because they're all clumped together, yet slightly in single file, but they're not sort of one by one by one. They're sort of one, if you get my meaning. So Burntcustard is going to try and defend against this. He's probably going to do it reasonably successfully. You can see all of the placement microing around desperately here, but Mot unfortunately loses those, or certainly is about to. There they go. Before doing any damage at all, really. Maybe a couple of units lost from Custard, but no econ damage of any sort at this point in time. Just having a zoom out again to see if Mot is really scouting around to see this expansion over here we saw from Burntcustard in that region where I said he probably would, because, there's all that mechs there. And he's got up a fair few vehicle factories, pumping out ants already, so that's going to start to produce a large assault force for the later game, trying to keep that under wraps for the final push, I shouldn't wonder. There again, I don't know why it consistently does that every so often. The boxes just sort of systematically uncheck themselves. You could call it the ghost in the machine. Anyway, looking around, we just see consistent scouting, I suppose you could call it, rather than throwing units away. I'm not sure what's going through Custard's mind at this point, but it's always good to scout, even if it's just one scamper at a time, because they can actually do damage if unchecked, even if they are scouting. Look around again. We see Custard trying to fight off 3 scampers. He's already lost about 20% of his health, 25% in fact. And these scampers just aren't going down, they're taking damage now from the defensive ones. There we go, they're done. But my word, it's almost a third of his health he's lost there. Trying to take out 3 scampers. That is unacceptable! Anyway, looking around, we don't see too many... Again, why? We don't see too many factories going up from Mot at this point, actually. I'm slightly surprised. We should probably be seeing more going up, trying to get a handle on the production, because Custard at this point has got a fair bit more production. He's got about the same number of bot factories, but don't forget he's got all of these vehicle factories over here in the dark, in the secret. Scamper over here has no idea it's there, does not have any idea that it's there. No, he doesn't. Whereas Custard... If I just remove vision from Custard, can see that Mot's got an expansion here. He can see his main nucleus. You can see over here as he's just destroyed those. I think there's only one bit that he hasn't seen, and that's this bit with the commander. But then again, that is the commander there, and it's in a rather interesting spot. It's only 2 metal spots with nothing really around. It's slightly more difficult to cast on this, if I'm honest, because of the lack of choke points. And when I'm casting, I usually tend to get my bearings using the choke points, but there aren't any now, so I can't... It's a lot harder to get your bearings on where fighting is taking place and where it did, because this is just fighting on a sphere now, basically. The only reference point are the little bits of base you see around. But anyway, as we already see, quite a few ants here. This is a substantial assault force with all of these ants. Will be able to do quite a bit of damage once they're in a clump and actually start to move in. Mot Space doesn't actually have all that much defense at all. He's got a few bumblebees. Here they go, mobilizing now. Got a couple of hummingbirds to defend against them. Just have a quick glance at Burntcustard, who has got a substantial air defense, so those bumblebees will not do any damage to Custard's nucleus whatsoever. And hummingbirds are rolling around the rest of the map as well as acting sentry, so these bumblebees are going to have a hard time even with their escort of a couple or so hummingbirds. Here we see the tanks beginning to stream in from Custard from his secret expansion over there, which Mot really should be doing a lot more scouting indeed. You could see quite the contrast because Custard just had all those scampers out across the map in no time, forgoing the early econ, but getting the intel and keeping Mot under his thumb the whole game pretty much so far. Mot is doing a little bit of expansion in terms of this commander over here. He's managed to get up a few more bot factories now at last that are all producing and are all sort of rolling off into this area while the fabricators try and take these mechs. So we've still got economic expansion going up, and that is a good thing. Normally at this point we probably see lots of players focusing on the fight that is just about to break out. Here, relatively pitched, apart from the fact that Mots are slightly more separated and Burntcustard has greater numbers. You could see there the units moving through the crater, closing in again, but Custard has vastly superior numbers in this engagement. Hummingbirds flying overhead. Attacking the home turf is not the most favourable of matches. And there you see how those bots are just managing to escape the fire of the others, although they come out and they can get picked off again because there's nothing defending them against that single point laser turret. I'm not sure if I've actually got a recording cast with the latest things like this. We've got a single point laser turret that does less damage than the double, but I believe might be a bit cheaper as a result. And there's a little, every so often there's a bit of new art coming out, like the orbital fighter now actually has a design rather than just a slightly different hummingbird crossed with a peregrine sort of design. But here, anyway, who cares about designs right now, because we see a huge number of ants moving in. I'm going to go into dynamic camera mode here as we see them sort of roll inside that crater. You can see from a distance how half of it has just disappeared and takes away the curvature, and so you could see how these craters may be used as a defensive measure or indeed a turtle creeping measure. There's that bit of the metal planet in the distance. Quite a nice touch there, but oh my word, these ants are just shooting pretty much everywhere on the planet. and they're now going to come in, take out this entire base that has next to zero, next to nothing in terms of defence. All of these factories are going to go down, and the boxes, oh my word, that's such an annoying mechanic. I don't know why it does that, but you can see that these have now all decided to get destroyed by these ants, rather than decided they were. Ants, of course, can't now shoot air, so those hummingbirds are just left watching the remains of their base. Alas, there are other groups of ants, I believe, around the map. Indeed there are. Let's just keep an eye on Mot's commander, because now that his original nucleus is taken out, Custard is going to be on the hunt for that commander kill. Mot really hasn't got a handle on things at this point in time. He's lost quite a bit of his eco. He's lost all of his energy, in fact. You can see here he's trying to compensate for it with his commander. It's going up quite slowly because of the production of other things, I believe. Wherever the fabricators were over here, who is also desperately trying to get up energy just anywhere possible to get building things. See, this is the advantage of crippling someone's economy in a stage of the game like this. It's pretty clear to see that Custard has got this game a great advantage and will likely be the victor. But even so, crippling an economy cripples a player, especially at this stage of the game, because they can't really produce anything at any great speed until they have that economy back up. Looking around again, we see hummingbirds sitting sentry. Should probably be patrolling around this commander about now, just in case Custard is getting up some bumblebees, which he is not. I haven't really paid too much attention to Custard's base, but oh my word, what is going on here? It looks like we see the Scamper Macarena. Oh, the Scamper Macarena. Anyway. Yes, it appears that even though you can walk inside craters, units decide, yeah, let's have a dance on the edge. They're living on the edge. Anyway, of glory. Anyway, leaving references aside, not too much is happening right now, just a lot of units clumping up together. Mot desperately trying to repair his eco, maybe taking the bots off all of this mechs because he needs the energy. You can see he's just getting it gradually back up, but at the moment all he's producing is this mechs and this energy. Oh, now he's actually building with these factories, so that's going to be sapping away at his energy as well. But at the moment, that's ridiculous how those projectiles just fly across the planet. But here come the ants. Won't be too long now before we see these. Oh, sorry about that, sound effects going off. Closing in on the commander location now. The final assault on Mot's bunker, as it were. In glorious HDR. You can see here how the anti-air is desperately trying to defend against the ground and just gets annihilated. And here is a prime example of tracking not in action. Yeah, a Scamper surviving as he's just taken out about 2 ants, but here comes the ants now, taking out this commander. Not too long, taking off a D-gun, taking out quite a few of those ants, but he's not going to survive, and there is a beautiful ending to a reasonably interesting game. And one of my first casts in ages. He's just deciding to continue to attack these Scampers now. Interesting. Here we are. Whoop, hello. It's a rather squiffy Alpha Commander, wouldn't you say? Anyway, thank you for watching, folks. I know this is my first cast in quite a while, and again I must apologise for my internet as a regard to that. Just having a look around the rest of the planet and zooming out again. But because I haven't casted in a while, I may have lost a couple of techniques because I'm not in the swing of it, plus I've been doing a lot of university work. If you're watching it, then thank you very much, and I would very much appreciate any tips or any points that were good or any points that weren't so good about this cast, because over Christmas I will be getting over a lot of casts for you guys because, well, you deserve it, and I've been pretty absent for the last month or so, 2 months. But aside from that, thank you for watching again. Hope you enjoyed it. And as ever, have a nice day.